Hello guys, welcome to my channel. And in this video we are going to talk about the subject called as mechanical technology. And in this mechanical technology we are going to see brief introduction and what type of question comes in your RTO examination, as well as we are going to talk about question distribution for each topic, right? For engineering materials, so the average question asked in RTO examination are 2, right? In 2017 one question was asked, in 2013 3 questions was asked, 2011 2 questions were asked. Now, so the average is 2 question can be asked from engineering materials, right? Now the second topic is non-chip forming processes, right? So basically non-chip forming processes is forging operation like rolling, extrusion, drawing, sheet metal operation. So these are non-chip forming processes, and average question asked was 2 questions were asked in RTO examination. Now the third topic is chip forming processes. In chip forming processes, basically there is turning, there is drilling operation, right? Drilling, etc. And the questions were asked is maximum 9 questions were asked, right? So this is a very important topic, chip forming processes. It involves processes such as broaching, right? Various turning, drilling, milling, various types of processes are involved in chip forming processes. So maximum 9 questions were asked in previous year RTO examination. Very important topic according to RTO examination. So 9 question means total 18 marks, right? 18 marks, because one question contains 2 marks. So the total weightage of this subject is 40 marks, right? So out of 40 marks, 18 marks is from this chapter number 3, chip forming processes, right? So the next topic is finishing and super finishing processes. So in finishing, only 2 questions are asked in previous year RTO. So finishing and super finishing basically means processes such as honing, lapping, micro honing, micro stoning, etc. These are the finishing and super finishing processes, right? Now the fifth chapter is gear production. So total questions are asked is 1 question, right? Which is the method used for producing gear, right? There are many methods we will see in detail in the upcoming video lectures, right? Now the sixth topic is NC-CNC machine. This is also very important topic. 2 questions were asked in previous RTO examination, right? Now the seventh topic is non-traditional and non-conventional machining processes. It basically involves abrasive jet machining, ultrasonic machining, laser beam machining, etc. And 2 questions were asked in from this topic. So now let's get started. Okay. So previous year RTO examination 2017 question paper, right? So the first question here: as per the Hume-Rothery rules of solid solubility, the difference between atomic sizes of solute and solvent should be less than. So options are 20%, 25%, 15%, or 28%. So as per the Hume-Rothery's rules of solid solubility, the correct answer is 3, that is 15%, right? So there should not be a more than 15% less than 15% gap to dissolve solute and solvent, right? So that then only the dissolution will take place between solute and solvent, right? The difference should be not less than 15%. So the correct answer is 3. The extrusion process, which is used in manufacturing short length components like toothpaste, tube, guns, shells, etc. is. Options are indirect extrusion, direct extrusion, hydrostatic extrusion, continuous extrusion. So here the correct answer is answer B, that is direct extrusion. Now here you can see the explanation, right? So what is forward extrusion or impact extrusion, right? So in impact extrusion, this is the force we apply onto this workpiece which is held between the dies, and this kind of a shape we get after the extrusion process. Extrusion is basically metal forming process in which tubular structure kind of a shape we obtain by this extrusion process, right? So the example of impact extrusion are toothpaste, aluminum, CO2 cartridge, aluminum baseball bat, permanent marker pen bodies, ammunition cartridge, right? So impact extrusion is also called as forward extrusion, and forward extrusion is basically a direct extrusion, right? Direct extrusion. So here the correct answer would be 2, right? Now the next question: in orthogonal cutting system, the cutting edge is, so options are in line with the direction of the tool, perpendicular to the direction of tool travel, perpendicular to shear plane, and perpendicular to the direction of depth of cut. So here in orthogonal machining, as we know that the cutting edge is perpendicular to the direction of tool travel. Here I am going to tell you how this orthogonal cutting takes place. So as you can see here, so here I am going to tell you about how orthogonal machining takes place. So this is a workpiece, right? This is a workpiece, and the cutting tool is like this, right? So this cutting tool is perpendicular to the direction of tool travel, right? Perpendicular to the direction of tool travel. That's why it is an orthogonal cutting, perpendicular to the direction of tool travel. Now the next question: chipping of tool may occur due to. So options are: tool material is too brittle, as a result of crack there is already that is already in the tool, excessive static loading of the tool, weak design of tools such as high positive rectangle. So chipping of tool may occur due to. So the correct option is D, for all of the above, right? All of the above are the reason for the chipping of the tool. Now the next question: the abrasive used in super finishing is. So the abrasive used in super finishing is both abrasive we use coated type as well as bonded abrasive. The correct answer is both 1 and 2, right? So here we are gonna talk more about this process called as extrusion process to remove certain confusions, right? So let's get started. So extrusion process basically classified into hot extrusion process and cold extrusion process, right? So what is hot extrusion process? Basically the temperature range of hot extrusion process of aluminum is 430 degrees Celsius to 480 degrees Celsius, right? At high temperature, hot extrusion process are getting carried out, used to produce curtain rods made of aluminum, right? Curtain rods are made up of aluminum, and those rods are basically by hot extrusion process. So here hot extrusion process is again classified into first direct extrusion and second is indirect extrusion, and this was the answer for that question, right? Direct extrusion. So here you can see that this is a solid ram drives the entire billet to and through a stationary die and must provide additional power to overcome the frictional resistance between the surface of the moving billet and the conforming chamber. Here you can see this is a die, right? This is the die, and this material is getting extruded and becoming a tube like structure, tube or a rod like structure, right? And that's what a direct extrusion process means, also known as forward extrusion. Forward extrusion, right? Now indirect extrusion. So in indirect extrusion, a hollow ram drives the die back through a stationary confined billet cases, no relative motion friction between the billet and the chamber is eliminated, right? So this is indirect extrusion. So here the direction of force is in this direction, but the direction of the product output is in opposite direction, right? In direct forward extrusion, the direction was same. In this direction, if the force is applied, then in this direction only the extruded part will be obtained, right? This is the point to remember here. Now, as you can see here, extrusion is a metal forming process in which metal or workpiece is forced to flow through a die to reduce its cross section and convert it into desired shape. This process is extensively used in pipes and steel rods manufacturing. So, pipe and steel rod manufacturing. The force used to extrude the workpiece is compressive force. Remember, compressive force is used to extrude the material. In hot extrusion, we supply heat to a material, so material is preheated and it is ready for extrusion. Now in cold extrusion, so used with low strength metals such as lead, tin, zinc and aluminum to produce collapsible tubes for toothpaste, medication and other creams, small cans for shielding electronic component and large can for food and beverages. So this is cold extrusion. Cold extrusion is again classified into two types, that is first backward cold extrusion, second impact extrusion and third hydrostatic extrusion. So why this why I am doing this classification, because as you have seen in 2017 the question was asked on the direct extrusion. So this time maybe they will ask you about hydrostatic extrusion or impact extrusion, etc., right? So here, so backward cold extrusion, the metal is extruded through a gap between punch and die opposite to the punch movement for softer materials such as aluminum and its alloy. So backward cold extrusion is basically for softer materials such as aluminum and its alloys. So it is used for making collapsible tubes, right? Cans for liquid and similar articles, right? As you have seen the can of Pepsi or a aluminum can of various food beverages material, right? So that can is made up of aluminum and which is by your backward cold extrusion process, right? Now the next classification of cold extrusion is basically impact extrusion. What is this impact extrusion? The extruded part are stripped by the use of stripper plate because they tend to stick to the punch, right? So this is impact extrusion, right? We are pressing this material and we are getting a desired shape, that is impact extrusion. Now the third is hydrostatic extrusion, right? Another type of cold extrusion process. This is another type of a cold extrusion process. It is a forward extrusion, but the fluid pressure surrounding the billet prevents upsetting, right? So there is a fluid pressure, right? Here you can see this is a fluid pressure and it helps to prevent upsetting. Now the next, so here the question number 6. Defects such as slight eccentricity, a wavy surface or a slight taper caused by previous operation can be corrected by. Options are grinding operation, lapping operation, honing operation, turning operation. Here the correct answer is 3, honing operation, right? Honing operation, here you can see that this is honing operation, right? This is a engine cylinder, right? So to finish this engine cylinders, these surfaces, honing tool is used, right? Honing operation is used. This is, as you can see, this is grinding operations are also used, but specifically for removing wavy surfaces, defects, light eccentricity, right, caused by previous operations are corrected by honing process, right. Application of honing processes are automobile engine cylinder, bearing, gun barrel, ring gauge, piston pins, shaft, flange, face, etc. Right. So here you can see this is a honing process, right. Right. This is a honing process. This is cylindrical grinding process, as you can see here. Cylindrical grinding, surface grinding, as you can see here, surface grinding process, right. This is internal grinding, right. So you'll get the idea about what is honing process, right. Now the next question is, the process of chamfering the entrance of a drilled hole is known as. So options are counter boring, counter sinking, counter fillet, repanning. So the process of chamfering the entrance of a drilled hole is known as, answer is counter sinking. Counter sinking 7. As you can see here, this is counter sunk hole, right. There is a taper produced, and this is counter bore hole, right. Counter bore hole, counter bore hole, counter sink hole. There is a very little difference. The difference is of this taper. Remember guys, this is a mistake that we make. This is a very confusing process also. So in counter sunk there is a taper, and in counter bore there is a square shape, right. So here the correct answer is counter sink. Chamfering, this is a chamfering, this is a chamfer, right. That's why it is a counter sinking process. Which of the following is a chip removal process? Option: rolling, extrusion, die casting, broaching. So here the chip removal process is broaching process, right. As you can see here, this is the broaching process. In broaching process, material removal rate is high, right. Large material can be removed in broaching process, right. And it is a metal removal process, right. Metal cutting process, right. This is a metal cutting process, broaching process. But these are rolling, extrusion, die casting. These are not material removal process. These are not chip forming processes, right. Now the next question. So here the correct answer would be for broaching. Back gears are used in center lathe for. So options are effective reduction in spindle speed, increase in the spindle speed, facilitating wider range of speed, spare purpose. So here the correct answer would be, so basically why gears are used. So general definition for gears are basically they are used for speed reduction to so that we can get a variation in speed, right. So here the correct answer would be A. Sorry, here the correct let's see the option. So this is right option, this is also right. So we get reduction in spindle speed, and that's what facilitates the wider range of speed, right. That's what facilitates wider range of speed. So here the correct answer would be A and C, that is this answer, right. Qualified tooling, preset tooling, these two basic type of tooling are used in. Options are conventional lathe machine, conventional milling machine, unconventional milling machine, NC turning machine. So you have to understand what is qualified tooling, what is preset tooling, right. So qualified tooling, what is qualified tooling? Qualified tooling, so universal calibrated monitoring and measuring equipment. Example: go and no go gauges, thread gauges, radius gauges, used to validate the product design characteristics that are uniquely identified, traceable to their calibration records. So basically qualified tooling are used in NC CNC machines, right. This is basically part of a metrology where the measurement, the tool is gives us the calibration of the movement by using your computer, right? Qualified tooling. Basically, before the operation, qualified tooling is applied to check the dimensions, to check the how the tool will travel to particular workpiece. Now preset tooling. What is preset tooling? So your tooling process is uninterrupted, so that setting your tool does not impact your productivity, right? Qualified tooling is, you have to set a tool for a particular operation, right? But you have to set that tool every time, right? But here setting your tool does not impact your productivity. Here it impacts your productivity, right? This process maximizes your production throughout with a reduction of machine downtime, ensuring you manufacture product at faster rate without compromising optimal product quality, right? So this is preset tooling. So preset is basically already set dimensions, and you have to start your process, cutting process or whatever CNC machine process. But qualified tooling is basically for a single operation you are doing this measurement. That is qualified tooling, right? Moving on to the next question. So here the correct answer would be 4. That is, these are used in NC CNC turning machines, right? So moving on to the next question. Guys, consider this lapping operation. So lapping operation. What is lapping operation? Lapping is a machining process in which two surfaces are rubbed together with an abrasive between them by hand movement or by using machine. This can take two forms, right? So as you can see, this is one plate, this is another tool, right? This is tool, and these are the abrasive particles in between, right? Embedded charge particles in between, and it is basically a finishing process, surface finishing process, right? Lapping. So as you can see here, this is the lapping process. Now this is basically bag gears used in lathe machine, right? These are used for speed reduction as well as offer a wide range of speeds. Now the next question, question number 11. Color code for a part to be machined for wooden pattern is represented by following color. So here options are red or orange, yellow, core, black on core print, green. Here the correct answer is answer number 1, red, orange, right? So here you can see black color is used for the surfaces which are to be left unmachined, right? Are painted black. Remember, surface left to be unmachined, right? And red color, the surface which are to be machined, are painted red, right? Yellow color, the core print and sheet for loose core print are painted with yellow color. The core print, sheet for loose core print are painted with yellow color. And the next is the sheet for loose pieces are marked with a red strip on yellow base, right? Sheet for loose pieces are marked with red strip and yellow base, right? And yellow base with black strip are marked for stop offs. Guys, remember this is very important, because as you can see, out of these 4, any of the type can be asked, right? Now here you can see some more questions which have probability to be asked in examination. Which of the following reason is not valid for pattern coloring, right? Option A, identification of main body. B, visualizing the to be machined surface, indication of type of metal, locating parting surfaces. Here the correct answer is D, locating parting surface. Explanation: Locating parting surface is one of the steps of the pattern construction, whereas the identification of main body, visualizing the to be machined surface, indication of the type of metal are the reasons as to why a pattern is imparted a color. So here the correct answer is D. So this is not the reason for pattern coloring, locating parting surfaces, right? Now the ninth, which color is provided on core print for machined opening, right? So options are a black strip on a yellow background, yellow strip on a black background, red strip on a yellow background, yellow strip on black background. The correct answer is yellow strip on black background. So this color is provided on the core print for machined operation, right? This core prints for machined operation, yellow strip on black background, right? Now the next question, as you can see here, for thread cutting drilling cycles following codes are used, right? So here the correct answer is, for thread cutting, basically G33 is used for thread cutting, G81 used for drilling cycle, and G83 is for deep hole packed drilling cycles, right? You have to remember it, guys, because minimum one question will be asked from these part programming codes, right? So here I want you to remember some more codes, because as you know, these are very important codes asked frequently in various examination, right? So what is this N code? It is used to represent title for a program block, right? What is this F code? Used to denote feed of cutting operation. What is this S code? Used to denote speed of cutting operation, right? So here you can see this is for program name, right? Title, cutting operation. S code is for speed, T code is for tool number, X code is for location along X axis, Y code is for location along Y axis, Z4 is for location along Z axis, right? Generally used codes are, now generally which codes are used, right? These are the codes generally used, right? G00, very important code, and the very first code that while operating CNC machine you put in. G00 is point to point positioning, G01 is linear interpolation, G02 is circular interpolation, which is clockwise. Remember, it is a clockwise circular interpolation. G02. G03 is circular interpolation counterclockwise. G04 is dwell, right? G05 is hold, G08 is acceleration, G09 is retardation, G17 XY plane selection, G18 YZ plane selection, G19 ZX plane selection, G41 tool radius compensation left, G42 tool radius compensation right, G70 dimensioning in inches, G71 dimensioning in mm, G90 absolute dimensioning, G91 incremental dimensioning, right? Now the next, as you can see here, M00 is program stop, M01 is planned stop, M02 is AND program, M03 is spindle rotation clockwise, M04 is spindle rotation counterclockwise, M05 is spindle off, M06 is tool change, M0708 coolant on, M09 coolant off, M10 clamp, M11 unclamp, M17 end of the program, M30 end of the main program. So moving on, right? So the next question is, microstoning is the following type of operation. So options are roughing, finishing, super finishing, polishing. So here the correct answer is 3, it is super finishing. Here you can see the operation known as microstoning. It is a super finishing process. It comes in this part of the process, that is honing, so also known as micro honing. the classification of honing. This is super finishing process, guys, also known as microstoning, right? These are micro finishing processes, right? These are super finishing processes because very uh, smooth surface finish are obtained by these processes, right? So the moving on to the next question, the chip thickness ratio R in orthogonal metal cutting operation is always, right? So the chip thickness ratio R in orthogonal metal cutting operation is always less than unity. As you can see here, this is uncut chip thickness, this is cut chip thickness. So uncut chip thickness, right, is always less than cut chip thickness, right? So cut chip thickness is 2 to 3 times the uncut chip thickness, so this ratio will be always less than 1, right? That's why this is always less than unity. The ratio of chip thickness ratio is always less than unity. Always remember this, guys, right? Now the 15, in drawing process, Tetrix curve is a special profile in which radius of the curvature. Options are continuously increases, continuously decreases, remains same, none of the above. So what is drawing process? Basically drawing process is wire drawing, making of wire, right? It is basically a drawing processes in which tensile and compressive forces are applied to the workpiece, right, to obtain a plastic deformation. So here the correct answer is question number 15. The correct answer is continuously increases, right? As you can see here, this is Tetrix profile. This is Tetrix profile, and this curve is continuously increasing, right? Continuously increasing. That's why here the correct answer is 1. Right? Similarly, you can see here, this is again a redrawing process with tapered retaining ring. This is reverse drawing operation. This is drawing to Tetrix die, right? So these are the operations. And the next question, in down or climb milling, options are: a direction of a rotation of a cutter is opposite to the work feed direction. B, the direction of the rotation of the cutter coincide with the direction of work feed. Chip thickness is minimum at the start and maximum at the end. Chip thickness is maximum at the start and minimum at the end. So here, as you can see, down milling. What is down milling? So here down milling is basically this is our cutter, right? This is our cutter, this is our workpiece, this is our workpiece, and the cutter direction and workpiece direction are same. That is a down milling operation. This is our cutter, right? Our cutter rotates like this, and this is so here chip thickness is maximum at the start and minimum at the end, right? Direction of the cutter coincide with the direction of the workpiece. The correct answer is B and D. Where is B and D? The option number 4. 16th correct answer is 4, right? Now the next question, laser beam machining process is used for machining, right? So laser beam machining is used for machining. The correct answer is this, thin material, right? So to machine a thin material, it is very feasible to use laser beam machining, because laser machining process depends upon localized heating, guys. If you take a thick material and you put out the laser to it, so what will happen? So because it is thick, it will not cut that easily, and we will be wasting a lot of our resources. And that's why laser beam machining is used only for thin material, thin sections, right? Which will get easily cut and will get a required surface finish, right? That's why it is used in very thin sections only. Now the next question, Machine tool having a dedicated computer to help prepare the program and control some of or all of operation is called as, dedicated computer it is talking about, right? You have to read the question carefully. So for NC machine there is no need of computer. Only a tape is used where punch tape are basically used. Punch tapes are used where there is a instruction for the program for the material removal also. That's why in numerical code there is no computer, there is only punch tapes. In direct numeric control there is a computer, right? There is a computer in direct numeric control, but that single computer operates n number of machines, like a lot of machines. But in CNC, that is computer numeric control machine, a dedicated computer is used, right? A dedicated computer is used. So here the correct answer would be C, and that is do. In the broaching operation, right? I have already explained what is a broaching operation, right? So in broaching operation, options are production capacity is high because cutting speed is high. As we have seen, cutting speed is low in broaching operation. So here the correct answer would be production capacity is high but cutting speed is low. So cutting speed ranges from 5 to 6 meter per second, right? This is the cutting speed, which is very low for a broaching operation, right? So the correct answer is 3, that is production capacity is high though cutting speed is low. Now the last question for this 2017 MVI MCQ of machine technology. Why I am doing this video lecture, because you will get the idea about what kind of questions they are asking and what kind of what kind of a level that we should be expecting in this RTO examination. So they are basically asking simple question, but you have to have a complete knowledge about these processes, because common mistake we will do here and we'll lose our marks, right? The broaching operation in which the work moves past the stationary tool is called. Here the correct answer is continuous broaching. In pull broaching, push broaching and surface broaching, the work does not move past the stationary tool, but in continuous broaching it does, right? It does, right? So the correct answer is 4, continuous broaching. So thank you guys for listening into this video, and please subscribe to my channel to get latest notification and updates. I'll be doing more such videos, right? So please encourage me to do more such videos, right? Thank you.